right, we've spent a good amount of time with FLR now. Learned about how it works, the team behind it, and its potential, right?
Yeah, we even dug into those price targets and the markets Flair's going after. Pretty fascinating stuff.
Exactly. We've got a pretty solid idea of what FLR's offering and where it's headed. But today, I think it's time for a little test, don't you?
Oh, you mean like a pop quiz?
Haha, not quite.
Yeah.
I'm talking about FLR's competition. How does it measure up against the other big names in crypto?
Now we're getting to the heart of it. It's more than just comparing market caps, right? We need to dig into Flair's strengths and weaknesses next to its rivals.
Exactly. And how quickly is FLR actually being adopted compared to those competitors? Is its approach really gaining traction?
Well, a good way to figure that out is to compare them head to head. We've actually got a kind of hypothetical ranking system, to
Oh,
evaluate Flair and its rivals across 5 key categories.
oh, interesting. But break it down for me. What categories are we talking about?
We're looking at interoperability, Oracle capabilities, the developer ecosystem, scalability and fees, and their ability to bridge non-smart contract assets. Think Bitcoin, XRP, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm following. So this ranking system,
hmm
how does it actually work?
Each category, we score it on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the best, obviously. It gives us a way to visualize those strengths and weaknesses pretty quickly.
Visuals are always helpful. So where does FLR really shine?
Flare has some serious advantages. The built-in state connector, for one, is a game changer for cross-chain communication. Secure, trust minimized, the whole 9 yards.
And remember the FLR Time Series Oracle, the FTSO. Can't forget about that.
Absolutely. The FTSO is crucial, right? Highly accurate price data for all sorts of assets, essential for DeFi. And then, of course, there's Flare's ability to work with those non-smart contract assets like XRP using its F-Assets protocol. Huge potential there.
Sounds like FLR is a pretty impressive toolkit. But okay, how does it stack up against the competition? Give me the scores.
Get ready for a surprise. In this hypothetical ranking, Flare actually comes out on top, a score of 21 out of 25.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Who are the runners-up?
We've got Polkadot and Cosmos both scoring 17 points. They do great with interoperability, but fall a bit behind in Oracle capabilities and that bridging aspect.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Given what we've discussed about Flair's unique approach in
Right.
those areas.
Exactly. Then you have Polygon and Thorchain, both with 15 points. Polygon, it excels at scalability and low fees, but it really relies on external solutions for oracles and bridging. Thorchain, on the other hand, specializes in bridging between specific chains, but it lacks a strong native oracle system.
So it seems like other networks have their strengths, but you often need workarounds to achieve what FLR offers natively.
You got it. Like comparing a multi-tool to a toolbox full of separate tools, Flare offers a more integrated and streamlined approach. No need to hunt for the right tool for every job.
I like that analogy. Okay, so FLR holds its own in these hypothetical rankings. But what about the real world? How's that adoption rate looking compared to its competitors?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Honestly, if I had to rate Flare's current adoption on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 3.
A 3. That seems a little low, doesn't it? Why such a modest score?
Well, Flare's ecosystem is still pretty young. It just doesn't have the same level of developer activity or total value locked, or even the user base, as some of the bigger players.
So it's just a matter of time then, maturity and more time to grow.
To a certain extent, yeah, but its potential for faster adoption, that's a different story. I'd give that at least an 8 out of 10.
Whoa, okay, that's quite a jump. What makes you so optimistic about FLR's potential to take off?
Flare's tackling some big needs in the crypto space. Bridging those non-smart contract assets, tapping into those huge communities like XRPs, that's game-changing. And let's not forget the partnerships, the big ones like Google Cloud and the Dogecoin Foundation. That's a lot of potential users and resources at their fingertips.
Those are some strong points in its favor. But I'd imagine there are some obstacles to overcome, right? What are the biggest challenges FLR needs to address to really accelerate its adoption?
Of course, it needs to keep building out its ecosystem, attract more developers, get more dApps launched, increase the total value locked on the network, that kind of stuff.
Solidity its presence, become a real hub for innovation.
Exactly. And then there's building brand awareness and trust. Showing successful launches, proving its security, crafting a compelling narrative around its value.
It needs to go beyond just the tech specs and show the world what it can actually do.
Precisely. And of course, there's the whole regulatory clarity issue, especially when you're talking about bridging assets like XRP. This is a challenge for the entire crypto space, but it's especially relevant for Flare.
Yeah, that's a big one. That uncertainty can make both developers and users hesitate.
Exactly. And finally, we can't ignore the competition. Flare is entering a crowded market, lots of established players with tons of resources and communities. Standing out from the crowd and capturing market share, that's going to be an ongoing battle.
So lots of potential, but some big challenges too.
That's the reality in this space, isn't it? It's a dynamic, competitive landscape, and success is never a guarantee.
Well, I'm definitely curious to see how Flare navigates these challenges. And, I'm really curious about those potential gains we discussed. How might they actually play out in terms of real price movements?
Now, that's where the speculation gets juicy. But we'll save that discussion for later.
All right, I'm on the edge of my seat already.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us as we continue to explore Flare's competitive landscape.
It's amazing how crypto just keeps defying expectations.
It really does. Such a dynamic, constantly evolving world. That's part of what makes it so captivating, right?
Exactly. Last time, we put Flare up against its competition, saw how it stacked up in things like interoperability, Oracle capabilities, and its unique approach to bridging non-smart contract assets.
Right. We went through those hypothetical rankings, which were pretty revealing, showed some of Flare's strengths.
And we even touched on adoption, right? How fast is it being adopted, and what are the obstacles in such a competitive market?
Yeah, a delicate balance, isn't it? Ambition versus the reality of a rapidly changing industry.
For sure. I'd like to dig a little deeper into those factors that might affect Flare's adoption.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I think understanding those can give us some real insight into Flare's potential, its likelihood of really taking off.
Okay, so let's break it down. What are the key things that could either speed up or slow down Flare's growth?
Well, one big factor is the F-Assets protocol, how successfully it's implemented and adopted.
Right. The tech that lets assets like XRP, Litecoin, even Dogecoin, the ones without smart contracts, get wrapped and used in dApps.
Exactly. If Flare can really demonstrate the real-world use of F-Assets, get people actually using them, that could be huge for adoption.
It would prove they can deliver on that promise of bringing these massive communities into DeFi.
Right. And that could create a powerful network effect. More users, more developers, all flocking to the platform to capitalize on those opportunities.
Like a snowball effect. Early success breeds more success.
Precisely. And then the growth of Flare's DeFi ecosystem, how vibrant it becomes, that's key too.
Yeah, we've seen it with platforms like Ethereum, BNB chain. A strong DeFi ecosystem really fuels their success.
Yeah, absolutely. It attracts developers, drives innovation, creates a whole cycle of growth.
So what needs to happen for Flare's DeFi ecosystem to really thrive?
It starts with getting talented developers, innovative projects building on Flare.
Provide the right tools, resources, incentives, right?
Exactly. Flare needs to build an environment where developers feel empowered to create those cutting-edge dApps that take advantage of its unique capabilities.
So it's not just about the tech itself. It's about fostering a culture of innovation and collaboration.
Exactly. And we can't forget about community engagement.
Flare's community has been pretty amazing so far, very passionate and supportive.
They really have. And their involvement is crucial, for driving adoption, spreading the word, providing feedback.
Like a grassroots movement that helps fuel the project's growth.
Absolutely. A strong, engaged community can be a powerful force for advocacy and adoption.
Okay, so I've got F-Assets, DeFi growth, community engagement, anything else that could significantly impact Flare's adoption?
Well, the big one looming over the whole crypto world, regulatory clarity.
Right, the elephant in the room for many projects.
It is. As we've said, regulatory uncertainty can make both developers and users hesitate, especially when it comes to real-world assets and those financial applications.
So any good news on the regulatory front could be a game changer for Flare's adoption.
Absolutely. Could remove a huge barrier to entry for institutional investors, mainstream users.
Create a more stable, predictable environment for growth.
Precisely. And then there's always competition.
Right. Flare's go up against some well-established players.
Exactly. It's not enough to just deliver. Flare needs to stand out, show what makes it different.
Carve out its niche, prove its unique value.
Exactly. A constant battle for mindshare, market share.
So it sounds like Flare's adoption hinges on a mix of internal and external factors, right?
Yeah, internal, like its tech advancements and community building.
Yeah.
External, like those regulations and the overall market competition.
It's all connected.
It is. It's complex, hard to say exactly how it'll play out.
But an exciting journey nonetheless.
Couldn't agree more. The crypto world is full of surprises, and Flare's story is just getting started.
Speaking of surprises, those price targets we talked about earlier, those were pretty eye-catching.
Oh yeah, those speculative figures definitely got people talking.
They did. I'd love to understand how those calculations were even made.
Good question. Knowing how those price targets came about can help us gauge their plausibility, their potential impact.
Okay, walk me through it. How do you even begin to estimate the potential price of something like Flare?
Well, one common way is to start with the total addressable market, or TAM, that the token is targeting.
Right, TAM. We've discussed that before. A little reminder wouldn't hurt.
Sure, TAM represents the total revenue opportunity for a product or service, assuming it captured 100% of its target market.
So for Flare, we'd be looking at those markets for bridging non-smart contract assets, DeFi, and any other applications on the network.
Exactly. And those are massive markets, trillions of dollars flowing through them.
Okay, so we have this huge TAM figure. What's next?
Well, once you have that, you need to make some assumptions about the token's role in that market.
Like, what percentage of transactions on Flare will use the FLR token?
Right. And how much of the total value locked in Flare's DeFi will be in FLR?
Got it. These all affect the token's demand and ultimately its price.
Exactly. And then there's token supply, distribution, even the influence of those strategic partnerships.
Sounds complicated. A lot of variables.
It is. And we have to stress that these are just estimates, not guarantees.
Of course. Real-world adoption, market sentiment, countless other factors will play a role.
Absolutely. But these price targets, even if speculative, can give us a sense of the potential upside if Flare achieves widespread adoption.
And those figures were definitely attention-grabbing, Flare's potential price reaching.
Welcome back to our deep dive, still exploring Flare and its competition, of course.
It feels like we've really gone deep with Flare, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've seen its strengths, compared it to the big players, even looked at those speculative price targets.
Yeah, we've got a pretty solid grasp of where Flare stands in the crypto world, seen its potential and the challenges it's up against.
Definitely. I'd like to get a bit more grounded now, explore some real-world use cases, see the tangible value Flare brings.
I like that. I think this is a really important part, because at the end of the day, any blockchain project has to solve real problems, bring actual benefits to users.
It's about showing the utility, going beyond the hype.
Exactly. So let's get into some real-world applications, some examples that highlight what Flare can do.
Sounds good to me. What use cases are you most excited about?
Well, one we've talked about a lot is bringing those non-smart contract assets into DeFi.
Right, Flare's F-Assets protocol, letting assets like XRP, Litecoin, Dogecoin, all those without smart contracts, get wrapped and used in dApps.
Right. It opens up so many possibilities for those assets and their holders.
Okay, I get the concept, but give me a concrete example. How could someone actually use this in their everyday life?
Let's say you're an XRP holder, right? Been holding for a while, excited about DeFi, but frustrated with the limitations of the XRP ledger.
Can't say I blame them.
So, with Flare, you can wrap your XRP into FXRP. Suddenly, all these DeFi apps become available.
Like unlocking a whole new level. So what can I actually do with this FXRP? Give me some practical examples.
Well, think about earning passive income on your XRP. You could deposit your FXRP into a lending platform, like Aave or Compound. Start earning interest right away.
So instead of just sitting in a wallet, my XRP is actually working for me.
Exactly. Or you could use FXRP as collateral to borrow other assets like stablecoins, even Ethereum. Opens up all sorts of trading and investment strategies.
That's a whole new level of flexibility for XRP holders.
Right, and we're just getting started. FXRP could be used in decentralized exchanges, prediction markets, all kinds of DeFi apps.
Suddenly, all those billions of dollars locked in non-smart contract assets have a whole new world open to them.
It really is transformative. Shows the power of Flare's bridging technology.
Okay, you've sold me on F-Assets. Any other real-world applications you're excited about?
Another one is providing secure, reliable data to smart contracts. Remember the Flare Time series Oracle, the FTSO?
Right, we talked about it. A real-world example would be great, though.
Absolutely. Imagine you're building a decentralized insurance platform on Flare, something that leverages the efficiency and transparency of blockchain.
Love the idea of cutting out the middleman, getting insurance directly through a smart contract.
Now, this platform needs real-world data to function, right? Things like weather patterns for crop insurance, stock prices for financial derivatives.
And that's where the FTSO comes in.
Exactly. It's a decentralized, tamper-proof way to deliver that crucial data to your smart contracts. Automated payouts, no need for manual checks.
So if a hailstorm wipes out my crops, the insurance payout is automatic, based on that FTSO weather data. No need to file a claim or wait around.
Precisely. Streamlines everything, removes human error or manipulation.
Like a self-executing insurance policy powered by real-world data.
Exactly. And this goes way beyond insurance. Think supply chain management, gaming, prediction markets, anything that needs accurate, reliable data from the outside world.
It's bridging the physical and digital worlds. So many possibilities.
Now, let's talk about something less tangible, but just as important for Flair's success, the community.
We've talked about how passionate and engaged they are. What's their role in all this?
A strong community really drives adoption. They spread the word, they educate newcomers, provide feedback to the devs.
Like a grassroots movement that helps amplify the project's reach.
Right. Flair's community has been key in getting early adoption, testing new features, building that vibrant ecosystem.
It really shows how much people believe in Flair's potential.
It does. But we have to be realistic too, right? Acknowledge the risks, the challenges that Flair might face.
Of course, every project has its hurdles. Understanding those is key.
So let's address some potential headwinds.
Okay, lay it on me. What obstacles could slow Flair down?
One big one is competition. The crypto space is incredibly competitive. Tons of projects fighting for attention. Flair has to constantly innovate, show what makes it different.
It's like a never-ending race. You have to keep pushing forward.
Exactly. And then there's the regulatory uncertainty always hanging over us. We've said it before, clear guidelines are needed for widespread adoption. Any negative news could really hurt innovation and growth.
Makes sense. What else?
Technical vulnerabilities, security breaches.
Yeah.
Blockchain is generally secure, but no system is perfect. Flair needs to be vigilant, invest in audits and best practices.
Because one breach could really damage trust, set the project back.
For sure. And lastly, there's the risk of not delivering on those ambitious promises. Flair's set high expectations. They need to execute perfectly to meet them and build confidence.
It's about turning that vision into reality. Not always easy.
Absolutely. But I think Flair has a strong foundation. Innovative technology, experienced team, passionate community.
That's a good combination. I'm optimistic about their future.
Me too. But success in this space takes more than a good idea. Relentless execution, adaptability, a little bit of luck never hurts.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Flair and its competition, what are the key takeaways?
I think the main takeaway is that Flair has huge potential. Its tech tackles real problems, the team's committed, and the community's actively involved.
But it's still early days, right? The journey's just beginning.
Exactly. Crypto is unpredictable. Flair's story is still being written.
And that's what makes it exciting, right? Constant innovation, huge potential for disruption.
For sure. So I encourage everyone to stay informed, do your research, and approach this space with a mix of enthusiasm and caution.
Great advice. This has been a fantastic deep dive, and I feel like we've only just begun to explore what Flair has to offer.
I agree. Blockchain tech is constantly evolving. There's always something new to learn.
Well, until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep those minds working.